Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the very sad events that happened in Phuket, Thailand, involving the motor yacht Gemasa. Before we continue, I'd like to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. BetterHelp helps you access your needs and matches you with your own licensed professional therapist, all done securely online. There is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 therapist network, which may not be locally available in many areas, and you can start communicating within 48 hours. If there is something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals, then it may be time to talk to a professional. BetterHelp is available worldwide, and you can log into your account at any time to send a message to your therapist or schedule a weekly video or phone session. It's more affordable than traditional offline therapy, and financial aid is available. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating a great therapeutic match, so they make it easy and free to change therapists if needed. And right now, you can get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/yachtcaptain. That's betterhelp.com/yachtcaptain. And join the over 2 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. I've got the accident report here in front of me. It was issued by the Cayman Islands. If you would like to read the report in full, I'll put a link to it in the description box below. So just a bit of information about the yacht. It's 49.99 meters. It's got twin engines, total power of 2,028 kilowatts, 2 propellers. It's a motor yacht. It's registered in Georgetown in the Cayman Islands and was built in the Netherlands. So prior to the accident, during February, Gemasa was based at the Yacht Haven Marina on Koh Phuket, Thailand. The yacht was not engaged in charter activities, and the beneficial owner or family were not on board. A visit by potential yacht brokers had been arranged for the weekend of the 21st and the 22nd of February. On Monday, 16th of February, Gemasa left Yacht Harbour Marina for a voyage to Langkawi in neighbouring Malaysia. The voyage was to allow Gemasa to take on fuel oil and duty-free stores. In addition, visa restrictions made it necessary for crew members to leave Thailand every 30 days. Langkawi lies approximately 150 nautical miles southeast of Phuket and is a popular destination for yachts based in Phuket, making so-called immigration runs to comply with Thai visa requirements. Gemasa arrived in Langkawi anchorage at 0800 on the morning of the 17th of February. Crew passports were sent ashore to clear immigration formalities, and Gemasa took on 30,000 litres of fuel oil from a bunker barge. After bunkering was complete, the yacht spent the rest of the day alongside in the Royal Langkawi Yacht Club before departing for Koh Phuket at approximately 0400 on the 18th of February. The departure time of 0400 was chosen so that the yacht's return to Yacht Haven Marina would coincide with the high tide at 1700 on the 18th of February. When the yacht was approximately 1 nautical mile from the marina, the master telephoned the marina manager to arrange for line handlers and to confirm the minimum water depth at the quay. The marina manager had confirmed that he had Gemasa in sight and told the master that there will be at least 1 meter of under keel clearance as Gemasa entered the marina. Satisfied that appropriate arrangements were in place for mooring, the master slowed Gemasa to maneuvering speed and transferred engine and steering control to the port side bridge wing. Gemasa was maneuvered alongside port side 2 without incident, and 4 lines were secured ashore. During the mooring operations, a single deckhand was manning the mooring station on the foredeck. As it is not possible to observe the strain and position of mooring ropes when operating the forward mooring winches, the deckhand was operating under the supervision of the master, who was directing operations from the port side bridge wing. With both forward lines secure, the deckhand then moved aft to the bridge, while the master entered the bridge to order the engines shut down, with the yacht now moored alongside. The marina manager, who was present on the quayside, described the maneuvering and docking as extremely competent and professional. Jamasa has 2 bridge wing control stations that fold into the deck house when not in use. When the wing stations are deployed, they extend the whole width of the walkway at bridge level and impede fore and aft movement on their side of the yacht. When the deckhand came to the still open portside bridge wing, he put the engine controls in the full ahead position and closed the wing station. It is necessary to place the engine controls in this position because when in use, they stand higher than wing control opening in the deck house when placed in the neutral position. At this time, the main engines were running and engine control was still with the port side bridge wing. When the engine controls were placed in the full ahead position, the engines engaged and proceeded to power the yacht up the quay. At this point, the deckhand was alerted by shouts from the quayside that the yacht was in gear and putting strain on the mooring ropes. The deckhand then reopened the bridge wing controls and brought the control levers back to neutral. At the same time, the master took engine control from the bridge and placed the engines astern to arrest the forward movement of the yacht. The action of the master was unable to bring the yacht to a stop before 3 of the mooring ropes pulled their attachment points from the quayside. The yacht was brought back under control, maneuvered alongside, and then made fast once again. At this time, the engines were shut down. Witnesses on the quayside and on board Jamasa report hearing a crushing noise and seeing Jamasa moving up the quay and making contact with 2 yacht tenders that were moored directly ahead of Jamasa, forcing them off the quay. The 3 mooring ropes that were pulled from the quayside recoiled violently. 2 persons on the quayside were struck by flying debris and recoiling mooring ropes and knocked them to the ground. Victim 1 was a shore worker from a nearby yacht and sustained leg injuries, while victim 2, who sustained head injuries, was a 16-year-old girl visiting friends of her parents in Yacht Haven Marina. Berthed next to Jamasa was the support craft Suri. Crew members from Suri were on the dock when the accident occurred and raised the alarm with the local ambulance authorities. Ambulances were also called from the marina office. A crew member from Suri, who had been trained as an armed forces medic, began to provide first aid to the injured persons. Victim 1 was conscious but in obvious pain and distress. Victim 2 was unconscious and suffering from traumatic injuries. Medical supplies from both Suri and Jamasa were made available on the quayside. Also in the marina at the time were 3 vacationing medical doctors who quickly arrived on the scene and took charge of the medical care of the injured. It was obvious to those in attendance that victim 2 was in a serious condition, and as Suri carries a helicopter, preparations began to fly the victims directly to hospital without waiting for the arrival of a local ambulance. Unfortunately, it was not possible to obtain the necessary air traffic control permissions to launch the helicopter in the time available. About 35 minutes after the accident, ambulances arrived and the injured were transferred to hospital in Phuket, along with the doctors who had taken over the initial treatment of the injured persons. Victim 1 had sustained fractures to his legs and required reconstructive surgery in Phuket. Victim 2 had sustained severe head injuries. She remained unconscious and unresponsive in a coma for 5 days. Life support was withdrawn on the 23rd of February and she was pronounced dead shortly afterwards. Very sad story. It's clearly an accident. On board AWOL, we had a similar setup where, if we're using the wing stations, in order for the wing stations to close, the throttles will need to be all the way forward. Otherwise, the throttle sticks will bang against the structure of the vessel. And during my time on AWOL, that was one of my biggest fears, is if one of the stations was live, either the port or the starboard station, a crew member accidentally engaging the throttles forward, causing a potential accident. These accidents, they do happen. I'm not a fan of having to put the throttles forward in order to close the wing stations. I think measures, this is my opinion, I think measures should be taken that all wing stations should be able to open and close with the throttles in neutral position to prevent this kind of thing from happening again. But that's down to the flag states and the classification societies of the of each individual vessel. Again, it's a tragic loss of life of a 16-year-old girl. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you join me next time. See you and ciao.